Hey guys, it's Sam here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the journey or the road to 300 pounds. I'm 300 pounds most of the time. I just won't count it until that's my proper morning weight. I'm going to do arms today and I'm going to focus on biceps because it was mostly triceps on my last arms workout. I'm here in my local zone and we've got a lot to discuss after the workout. So first half is the workout if you just want that. Second half, I'm going to address some of your questions, get back to this nutrition, cooked and uncooked weights and calories and all that sort of thing, and go through some questions and some of the more detailed stuff that came in, because I've been really happy with the engagement on that. So any more questions, put them in the comments and I'll pick them up in another video. If you like all the bodybuilding content, including nutrition and all the rest of it, contest preps, PED info, all of that, make sure you subscribe. And this journey to 300 pounds, it's getting so close, I'll have to think of what's next, but it'll still be training hard and loads of actual workouts. And while I'm waiting for the pre-workout bro buzz to kick in, luckily this is unlocked, so it's an opportunity to show you my weight, like kind of not properly. I've got my clothes on and I've had 3 meals so far today, but let's take a look. All right, let's weigh this thing, take the bro's eye view. What do we got there? Yeah, it's saying close to 22 stone. It's saying 21 stone and 9 pounds. So I'll work out what that is in total in pounds. Obviously it's going to be 21 times 14 plus 9. So I worked it out, and 21 times 14 is 294, plus 9 is 303. So a couple of meals in and clothes on, 303 pounds, but when that morning weight is over 300 pounds for a couple of consecutive days, we're done. Yeah, buddy, here he is. Big Ron approves, you see, but if I stand a little bit closer, out angle Ron. No, I'd never do such a thing. He is clearly the best ever, and I loved all of his DVDs, sort of found them the best ones and most entertaining to watch when I was getting into this as a kid. And I'm hoping to meet Ron at the Arnold UK. I'm just getting organised to go for that, and I've got that book that I want to get signed. So that's what I'm very excited about, as well as this workout. But as I say, the workout is going to be focused on biceps, or biceps first. And as I progress the weight I was using on the dumbbell curls, I'm going to really focus on doing them first and do them before everything else, so I can do them as heavy as last time, because I was moving like 90 pounds a side last time. And then I'm going to move on to a couple of the more focused ones that some of you enjoyed, like using the hammer strength MTS where it's at the top, and using a different grip to sort of maximize the isolation on my biceps, take my grip and forearms out of the situation a little bit, then see what I can find that's available that's going to be a slightly different angle, and then there'll be a bit of triceps. But after that back workout the other day, I wasn't ready for compound stuff, so I actually skipped to arms, and I'll do shoulders either tomorrow or the day after. Toes getting a lot better, so we'll be back on legs soon, so it's all very promising. Going to get to that 300 pounds before I know it, and just loving making the videos for you guys, really. Hey, how you doing? You right? Welcome to the Iron Jungle. I've tried to make my split out of kilter with everyone else's routine, so I figured everyone would be doing chest today, so I would have either done shoulders or arms. So if it's going to be in a busy time where I'm going to be in the gym, I make sure that I won't be highly likely to be training exactly the same as what everyone else is doing. So I'm pretty confident that I've found a space where I can just get on with things and not disturb other gym users. And with stuff like upper body, I just go really lightweight to warm up, like doing the movement that I do for my first exercise. So I'm not going in cold with the heavy ones, but beyond that I don't do like some huge whole body work warm up. I don't see the point of that, just kind of the muscles I'm going to be using. So I'll crack on with a bit of that, and then you'll see set 1. One of you was asking me earlier today or yesterday where my favourite of all these North London gyms is, and they all have their own strengths. they all have different things to recommend them and different things they come out on top for. But here, Zone, this is my local. This one and Bodyworks are my most regular. But I do have to say for Zone, for upper body, it's got the greatest collection of my favourite kit, and I have received the most support in what I'm doing and made the most friends here overall. So I can definitely say that Zone is up there. I'm just trying to find the 90-pound dumbbells. Got on set one. No, it's too achy from last time. That is honestly going to be too heavy for today, so leaving this in as I do show you exactly what happens in each real workout, but that's not going to be suitable, and you have to be careful and drop it right down, so bear with me, I'll find another more appropriate weight. Second thoughts, cancel that. It'll be one of my heavier exercises and it doesn't feel quite right, so I'm going to skip straight on to different exercises that I feel can be productive doing it lighter. I'm going to get back with the MTS bicep curl, the hammer strength one that I found my new method with, and as usual starting on the weaker arm and see how we get on, but I'm going a little bit lighter. I think that'll be sensible right now. And the right one I'm going to be especially careful with, and if it doesn't feel right, I'm just going to do a whole session for my left arm. It's slightly smaller anyway. Yeah, that's not feeling right. That's going to be sprained from that last time of going heavier, so not wanting to interfere with the recovery of that, and as my left arm's slightly smaller than the right one, it's turning into a workout for just one arm. Maybe my right arm is getting overworked for some strange reason. I cannot think why. It's yeah, you're seeing how the workouts like actually pan out unedited here. So a bit like that back training session the other day. Didn't start off going to plan and had a great workout in spite of it. So that's the plan for now. And keep it on the left arm, left biceps, and then I'll try again with my right arm to get some triceps exercises, but may not include those either. We'll see. Set 2. I'm really leaning back there so I can get the most out of the stretched position at the bottom of the rep, and I can certainly feel that just in my biceps. So make it a good session somehow. It's always a good session. Right, set 3. that's hard. There's no need for me to increase the weight at all on there. I think it was like 16 reps or something first set, and a dozen the last two. No need to change that. I think this is the first time in my life I've just done a workout of the left arm. It's, looking at my measurements, it's kind of like, you know, quarter of an inch less or something. Might be a good idea now and then. It just sort of feels like you haven't worked hard enough if you do something as specific as that, and I really get the satisfaction from training, like absolutely working my hardest every time. So, you know, that'd be a reason why I'd not end up doing something like this deliberately too often. But that's enough rest. I can get straight into set 4 now. So I said before that like 4 sets is kind of my default, but another indicator that I kind of go by, that I've done enough sets and enough volume on an exercise, is that the reps are dropping off, going to failure on every set. By set 3 and 4, the reps are like really dropping into the lower end of the rep range that I was aiming for, and that's certainly happening there, so I can move on. So next up I'm going to do the incline dumbbell curl, but just for the left arm. So I've never done this before, I don't know quite how it's going to work out, so I'm going ultra light with a 20-pound one while I get a feel for the balance here. But I feel it should be doable. It shouldn't be so heavy that it's going to move my currently 303-pound body off the bench, just a little 20-pound dumbbell. So here we go, set 1. Yeah, that'll do. And quite nicely, I bumped into one of my friends that I'm looking after here, so he's going to jump in with a set and we'll play the bench here. Yeah, come on then. You really should feel that just in the biceps. Yeah. You try to move your shoulder forward less, so keep your shoulder there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Do you feel that even more?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well done. This man's got better biceps than me, this is a fact. Come on. You need to flex for the camera. Just get the arm in so it fills up the whole thing. I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out if it's no good. Look. Yeah, do it again. Look. Just look at the shape. Like look at the insertions of these biceps. It's like premium biceps. Right, set 2 for me. Actually, I should probably move this around so that you can see which side I'm working with here. There we go. That's a lot more sensible with a one-armed man. I'm going to try ever so slightly heavier this time. It's up by 10 pounds to 30 pounds, but if you haven't seen the incline like so low down before, this was an idea straight from Frederick Delavier's Strength Training Anatomy workout 2 that I was singing the praises of in that book review the other day. Here we go. That's it. As I was struggling for the 9 reps on that last set, I am going to drop back down to the 20-pound one, but I'm really glad that I bumped into James today, because it's the best day to bump into him on a biceps workout, because he's just got those really like long bicep insertions where it looks, you know, like really full as soon as you get some development there. I've got kind of the short ones, like on part of my triceps and my biceps, so like arms are probably never going to be like my strongest point. For me, it's more like my back, really, as you probably noticed in some of the other training videos. But you don't know like what your strong points are going to be until you get training and get a little bit of development going. So it's always a nice surprise when you're newer and you start seeing things happening and what areas are the best for you know. But for me, it's not really the arms and the consolation prize is that maybe this situation is going to make them a little bit more even. Anyway, last set now. Oh dear. That's it. Maybe. Oh, nearly falling over. Maybe if the whole arms thing doesn't work out in the end, I'll just go the crazy SEO route. Who knows? Next up, I'm doing the Nautilus arm curl, and as you can't really get a great angle to see this, I'm going to do 4 sets, but just film one of them. I'm a little bit disappointed that I don't feel like I can get the stretch like on this. It's not an exercise I do too often, but anyway, here we go. I don't know what problems I just messed around with the seat height thing on this, but I think something may have happened to the machine because I don't remember it not being able to stretch out when I've this badly when I've used it before. So I'll do a couple more and make the best of it, but this one won't be ideal for in future, I don't think. I'll just film the last one and we'll move on. Let's see if I can do both arms on the triceps. Jumping in the push down now, but going carefully with it. just about managed that, but I'm not going to go so heavy on anything involving the right arm at all, like the way it's feeling, and then I'll just have to see how I get on in the coming days. Maybe adjust the split again, because legs could be coming back and arms could be getting on pause, but this depends how it turns out in the next few days, how that right arm's feeling, because I was able to work everything else. I was able to do back heavy with that workout the other day, and that was since this started feeling. So I'll find a way around it somehow. Make sure that I'm getting in the gym doing something. Pretty much all of it needs some kind of work, so I can still enjoy myself. Set 2. All yours. No. And the last one. Feels good, especially on the left arm. I'm going to leave it at that for the workout, because it's going to be sooner than I'd normally do it round to be exercising shoulders again, which is going to involve the triceps in all of the overhead pressing, which I've really been progressing on the weights I was using with the dumbbells, and I don't want to interfere with that with overdoing it on triceps today. So one exercise, I'm going to leave it at that. I know it's not been the longest workout, but I have done all those sets to failure. What I've done, it has given me some work on my left arm, which is measuring a little bit less than my right, so that can't be a bad thing. So in spite of it being a short one and not what I intended, I'm looking on the bright side, and that's how I've made the best of it. So that's the workout all done. I'm just going to find somewhere a little bit more quiet to settle and talk about some of this nutrition stuff and your comments and questions that have been coming up. So basically the two matters to address, or two big topics to pick up again, are this cooked and uncooked weights thing and the calories thing. I'll do them in that order, because they're kind of you know, little bit different sorts of issues. Like pretty much everyone can agree on the cooked and uncooked thing. It's not so controversial, but then the calories thing, it's more hotly debated and different theories. So we'll come on to that second, because that's probably more complex actually. So basically, one of you was replying in the comments to my last video about the cooked and uncooked weights, and you were talking about, I think it was Baxter there. Baxter was talking about grams of protein and setting those and not knowing what they are, the cooked weights. So I think what it would be quite instinctive to think is that if a food is pretty much a pure protein, then say 50 grams or 100 grams of that food would be 50 grams or 100 grams of protein. Well, that's not the case. Take something that we know and love, like chicken breast, that we consider, you know, functionally a pure protein. Per 100 grams, it's not all protein. There's trace amounts of fat in it, and then there's the water content. And basically the loads of protein, quite a bit of water, and a tiny bit of fat is what makes the 100 grams in total. So I can't remember off the top of my head how many grams of protein it is exactly. I'd maybe guess 70 or 80, but this is what you have to check, you see. You have to take the uncooked weight and go by that. And it's all about water really, this cooked and uncooked weights. It's going to make the weight of the thing reduce. If it's cooking meat, it's taking water out, and where it's these dry carbohydrates that then become edible, like rice and potatoes, it's putting water in, and that's what changes the weight. But I'm going to explain it slightly differently, or hopefully make it less complex. Let's just say that grams of a macronutrient, grams of an uncooked food, and grams of that food cooked are three separate things. And the grams of the macronutrients in it and its uncooked weight stay the same. Whatever they are for that product stays the same. What will vary depending on how much water you put with it when you cook it, or how much you cook it or overcook it, or what method you use to cook it, like oven or fry or whatever, will make it a different weight when it's cooked. So you can't always say that a certain amount cooked weight of chicken is going to be the equivalent of an uncooked weight and the equivalent of a protein. That's why, to get it right, let's simplify again, and let's just say, to get it right, do all of your calculations based on uncooked weight. That's the safest thing that I can say. So if you don't understand the whole topic, just go by the rule of doing all of your calculations based on uncooked weight, and make sure you check the actual grams of the macronutrient that are going to be in the plan. So you know, say you're shooting for like 150 grams of protein a day. Look at the nutritional information label, like they call it, on the back of the packet, which, if you don't have the packet to hand, it'll probably be on the website of the supermarket that sells it, all of the nutritional information of all the products they sell. Pull that up. That's going to be the facts for the uncooked weight of that food. So figure out, do your calculations of how many grams uncooked weight of that food is going to give you the 150 grams, say, protein that you need. Or, you know, if all your protein in a day wasn't going to be from chicken, it might just be 100 grams. So it might be 100 grams of protein. You know, you see on the back of the packet that in the information, per 100 grams of product, it's slightly less than that for protein. You're going to figure out how much more than 100 grams of product is going to give you that much protein. It would be quite a bit more. And then cook that. But you did mention, Baxter, you did mention that you're doing batch cooking for several days. I may have remembered it wrong, but you may have mentioned shift work as well, and that being easy. So just say, okay, it was going to be, for example, it could be any amount of protein that you're taking from chicken, but just for example, say it was that 150 grams. Figure out how many grams of uncooked weight that's going to be, which is on the packet, or it'll be in the USDA food tables, or available online. Figure that out for one day, and then times it by however many days you're cooking for. So say, you know, I would say 3 days maximum on a meal prep, unless you're going to start freezing the stuff for it to be kind of palatable and at its best. Say you're going to cook for 3 days on your work schedule. You just take whatever amount for one day it's going to be of uncooked weight chicken, times that by 3, get that as your batch of uncooked weight, cook the whole lot. Now you've got control of the system, because it was all based and calculated on the uncooked weight. Now you can just take that huge portion, eyeball it, and divide it into 3, you know, plastic boxes, and then fridge them away for one of those each day, and now you're set, and now you never need to worry about the cooked weight. You don't even need to know the cooked weight if you do it that way, and that's going to be the most accurate way. Now, some of you may be wondering, you know, why don't you get like one of these apps that'll do it? Well, the problem is you don't know the data that's behind the app. You don't know if it's accurate to the actual product that you've got, because you want the information of uncooked weight for the actual product you've got, because they vary in how much water they've got in them and all sorts of things. To make it as accurate as possible, you're best to do it yourself, and then eat the same every day, because all of these foods aren't just reducible to their macros anyway, and that's a larger topic, but you're better to do it by yourself, otherwise you've lost control. So when I do a plan and I work out all of these things, when the plan's adhered to, the expected and desired results come in within the first days and first week. If you're relying on an app and it's all kind of less accurate data, or you don't know what data it's based on, or it's data for different products or different averages, or you're not sure if it was cooked weight or uncooked weight. You don't have control of the thing, and it may take longer to get things baselined and set on a way that's going to give you, progress week on week on week on week. So that's what I recommend for that. So that's my return to discussing cooked and uncooked weights. So it does apply to all foods. It's just that I selected carbohydrates because that's what we manipulate the most in order to gain weight or reduce down to manipulate and carb cycle and everything to lose body fat. And so it's the one that we need tightest control of, usually in the bodybuilding context. And then the second reason I chose carbohydrates to focus on is because I think it's the most important when you're using other, so-called ingredients that I referred to in that video that can make things dangerous if you got it wrong. So I picked carbohydrates, but as you identified, it does apply to your proteins as well, and that's how I'd recommend you do it, with the example of chicken breast there. So any other questions, put them in the comments. I'll be talking about nutrition all the time. And then coming on to the calories thing, I had not really a challenge, just an ongoing discussion with one of you there, which was very interesting. And I just provided the example, one example of where the expected weight gain from putting more food in, or a calorie surplus doesn't happen. But there are myriad examples. Another one that, off the top of my head, is when people are super obese, these people that are housebound, and there's documentaries about them and stuff like that. It's very easy to calculate what their kind of maintenance, so-called maintenance calories within that conceptual framework is, and their basal metabolic rate, because they're housebound, they can't stuck and move, they can't really move around. So there's not really much of a multiplier based on their activity going on. It's their basal metabolic rate and a little bit more, and that's based off pretty simple calculations. And they've studied. There's been case studies of these people, and then also, because they're stuck there eating it, it's easy to observe how much they eat and calculate its calorie value. And when they've done that, they predict, according to the kind of idea that the energy can't just disappear and the body's a closed system, and the energy balance and the surplus and everything like that, within that conceptual framework that I don't believe in, basically, they are expecting them to be gaining like 2 pounds every day, and yet their weight is perfectly stable when you measure them. Well, people can ask, well, where's the energy going? And all we do know is that it's not making them any fatter, or it's not making them any heavier. And so for me, it's not even about belief. It's about the evidence of it. And there's a set of things that I believe we do know that relate to calories and energy, and then there's a bunch of things that I believe have become a belief that's not proven by what we do know. So just to sort of spell that out, I do believe in the concept of energy. I do believe that the body needs sufficient energy, but what I don't believe is that the body's a closed system. And what I don't believe is that eating something means that it's in your body. To my mind, it's really in your body. Well, to any biologist's mind, it's really in the body once it's actually passed through your intestinal walls. Something can be put in your mouth and come straight through the other side if it's not something that can be absorbed like through the intestines. So I don't believe that eating something means it's truly in your body. I don't believe that energy is a substance. I believe it's a conceptual framework, because it's a measurement of a thing, not a thing itself. Like an amino acid is a thing, a physical substance, but I don't believe that energy is a physical substance. I believe that it's a conceptual framework, and I don't believe that the body's a closed system, and I don't believe that something's truly in the body just because you've eaten it. And so I don't believe that you can calculate someone's expected weight gain or weight loss based on a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit. And the research seems to illustrate that what I'm saying is thinking on the right lines, because I highlight in that BS calories theory video, I did highlight 2 studies where people have been overfed and underfed, and their weight gain and weight loss was nowhere near what you'd expect from this energy balance paradigm. So I don't I don't use it as a tool. I just don't find it an effective tool. The closest I get to it really using that idea is that if I'm bulking, I believe that energy is required to build the extra muscle, but I'll overfeed. I'll do the calculations and overfeed, but the weight gain doesn't correspond in any way to the numbers of that overfeeding. It's just that I'm figuring out a theoretical minimum and eating more than that, but on a cut down I don't use a deficit at all. In fact, I actually make sure that I'm in a theoretical surplus, and I use methods based on the carbohydrate insulin hypothesis to lose the body fat, because that, to my mind, is a closer explanation of the actual process that's happening. You know, it's not that fat is made out of energy, it's just that everything in the world, body fat, is made out of energy. It's made out of triglycerides. It's just the fact that everything in the world can be measured by energy, and we measure the amount of energy in things by using a calorimeter or a Bunsen burner or something to burn it and give it a calorie value. But even that is just averages. Someone else mentioned in the comments that it's 4 calories per gram of protein or carbohydrate and 9 calories per gram of fat, but even that is just averages, and all it is just objects being burnt in the calorimeter. Well, for me, that really doesn't tell you how a body's going to behave, and these things aren't fully in the body unless they've gone through the intestines anyway, so it's just not explaining what's happening. To my mind, what's explaining what's happening is the theory based around the ingredients and the hormones, and the relevant ingredients are fatty acids and glucose, which becomes glycerol, and triglycerides formed from glycerol and fatty acids, and cells uptake of them from the hormonal instruction of insulin. And that's what's really going on, and understanding that process and basing your behaviours and your plan around that process is what leads to the actual results when you're cutting down. And when it comes to the bulking, I just make sure that I'm still kind of even more theoretically overfed, but you know, the numbers never add up in the weight gain that you'd expect. But you know, why would you expect that based on what calories actually are? And what they are is a number that we assign in energy with this process with a calorimeter and not a substance. And so, you know, I just don't see how the calories in, calories out model follows from all of that. So maybe that's a little bit deep, but this is, you know, the Physique Philosopher channel after all. It's a love of knowledge around what happens with your physique, and I wanted to delve into all these topics quite deeply. So it's going to be one that we definitely return to. But that's just to kind of pick up on a couple of questions that have come out, because I ended up talking about nutrition again. And hopefully it'll provoke further discussion and allow me to streamline my thoughts to deliver what's going to be hopefully more applicable and useful information. I have done that on the bulking side because that's my current focus, like on some of the other videos, but when I get round to show prep and cutting, I'll give loads of example diets that don't involve you going hungry, don't involve calorie deficits, and see the weight flying off at, like, you know, 2 or 3 kilos a week. Doesn't add up in the numbers or the calories, but that's what happens. Anyway, let's talk about nutrition and food. It's actually making me hungry, and I need to get my next meal in. So I'm gonna hit the road. I'm gonna think about what's gonna happen with my arms workouts. Probably I'll be back on legs and shoulders, but there's still a video every day, and I hope you enjoy this road to 300 pounds, which is nearly complete. Speak soon. Cheers.